Hello! I know I may have said that I wouldn't be doing any more of these until I got a new video editor, but I thought I'd do this anyways because the format seems simple enough, and apparently I like doing the last review. So let's dive into the wonderful world of Max
Headroom.
Many of you may recognize him from the US TV series, but let's go back and see where it all started. It started with the UK TV station Channel 4 asking Peter Wagg to look at a video clip rock show series. The London animators Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel came up with the idea of a computer-generated TV show host. But back in those days they didn't have the computer power to create a fully rendered and functional artificial intelligent program that could make quick and witty remarks and comebacks.
God, he's rude as well.
Love you, good. Come on.
What they could do, however, was live video editing. So they hired an actor by the name of Matt Frewer and put the poor guy through 4 to 5 hours of makeup consisting of a polygonal-shaped rubber mask and a fiberglass suit. The show consisted of Max Headroom talking about random things,
Golf.
interviewing various celebrities like music artists and actors,
I wanted to be Joan Collins' sort of like gay nephew or something.
It's like a drug, and you become addicted to it.
I think the film has to do the talking, basically, and not me.
and play some music videos, some of which are rather weird, some of which were underrated, and some of which you've come to expect from the 80s, which are occasionally interrupted by Max. Or is it that the music interrupts Max? The second year of this show showed a bigger budget featuring a full studio and studio audience. He has also appeared in commercials and a music video by Art of Noise.
In 1985, someone had the bright idea of giving Max a background story, which ended up being the direct-to-TV British movie Max Headroom 20 Minutes into the Future.
Though the caption says 20 minutes into the future, I feel as though it is set 20 years into a post-apocalyptic future.
Then again, I haven't seen all the nasty nitty-gritty places of the world, so who am I to judge?
In this future, the world is governed by corporations and television is more important than human needs. No one is actually allowed to turn off a TV, and to get a proper view count the TV watches you, making sure you are actually watching.
Wonder which came first, the Soviet Russia jokes or Max Headroom?
Meet Edison Carter, a daring investigative news reporter from Network 23 that goes after a story no matter the odds. Today's hot topic is of an explosion that occurred in an apartment building. Aiding him is a controller who can pull up almost any information possible and guide the reporter through buildings, past security if needed, and getting the facts straight when asking questions. As Edison is right on top of the story, his bosses pull the story. Edison doesn't want to drop this and tries to get a peek through the window, but his controller simply cuts him off, leaving him to get mugged on the street, something a controller should never do.
Forrester, you do not leave me or anybody exposed out there.
Meanwhile, at the executive board of Network 23, we learn the truth about what happened. Network 23 assigned their research and development department, Rice Lynch, yes, one person, to come up with a way to keep people from channel switching during the commercials. Rice came up with blipwords, a way to compress 30-second advertisements into 3 seconds, not giving people time to switch channels, but still be able to forward the message of the advertisement. The downside to this is that it stimulates the brain in such a way that it sends signals to all the nerves in a human body at once. Seeing as nerve signals are electrical impulses, and some people may have more nerve endings than others, one could say they get cooked from the inside out, and apparently explode.
What's so special about some microwave oven going pop?
Being that it is so lethal, they debate and argue whether it is worth being the top-rated television station. Later that evening, Edison's new controller, Sierra Jones, walks in and is put to work almost immediately.
See what you can get on this rash of reporters being pulled off hot stories for no reason.
She works her magic and manages to access some hot stories, when suddenly...
He doesn't want to know about flipbirds, and we must keep them on air then.
Unless Bryce can sort out their affair, we simply can't use them. You've seen the Reavers tape, it's just terrifying.
We have no choice. We're committed to the campaign. And the Zigzag Corporation's advertising contract with us is massive.
Massive or not, if this gets out, Network 23 is in serious trouble.
After hearing that, Edison catches and confronts one from the executive board and is given some information. So, that night, Edison breaks into research and development with the help of Theora to try and find out the truth. When activating the computer, he triggers a security camera which alerts Bryce to the intruder. He immediately calls some mates named Bruegel and Mahler to take care of Edison. As Edison finds and watches the truth, his equipment gets jammed by Bryce and Theora can't watch it with him. After that, Theora somehow manages to contact Edison to tell him that he's got company and should get out of there. Edison heads towards an elevator and hopes to get out, but Bryce starts controlling the elevators himself, and so Theora has a computer battle with Bryce as Edison runs up and down corridors trying to avoid Bruegel and Mahler. Eventually, Edison manages to get to the garage and steals a bike. As Edison races towards the exit, Theora and Bryce fight for control over the exit's barrier. Theora eventually locks it open and wins that battle, but in the last second, Bryce remembers the ramp and erects it fully, sending Edison flying into the barrier. The head of Network 23, Mr. Grossman, is not pleased by what has happened to his top star reporter. Bryce explains that he can download Edison's mind onto a computer, regenerate Edison's image onto the screen, and have that computer program continue Edison's reports, so that no one will question his disappearance.
I have to have time and money.
However, because Mr. Grossman is quick to judge first impressions, in this case an alpha preview of the program.
Max Headroom?
Yes, the last thing Edison saw ended up being the program's name.
Mr. Grossman tells Bryce to get rid of this project, and reluctantly Edison Carter, and dedicate all that time and money on the Blipvert side effect.
I'll have Bruegel and Mahler handle it.
So Bryce instructs his mates to carry out the following. Take Edison somewhere where he won't make a fuss, which just happens to be a body bank, and make sure the computer program is safe and in good hands until he needs it again. And so they sell it to this small-time pirate television bus called Big Time Television.
Big Time Television. Day after day, making tomorrow seem like yesterday.
He who owns the bus plugs it in and is pleased with what he sees.
It's Big Time Television, the station where two's company and three's an audience.
Knowing that this program is an artificial show host, he plugs it into the rest of his setup and broadcasts. Meanwhile, Edison Carter regains consciousness and escapes the body bank. He tries to repair his camera as best as he can and tries to contact control.
Nora. Edison! Edison, for God's sake, where are you?
I need your address. I'm in bad shape.
Feeling safe in Theora's home, he gets some good proper rest to continue his recovery.
No, being unconscious is not always a proper rest. Besides, in a body bank you are carved up. Wouldn't surprise me if a sense of danger woke him up prematurely.
Despite his rest, he can't remember anything from last night, which means he has to go back into Bryce's lab. He does this, and this time manages to confront Bryce personally. Back at Network 23, the executive board is arguing about what to do about the Blipverts and their side effect. Without the Blipverts, they lose both a large quantity of viewers and a massive deal with their sponsors. But if they keep the Blipverts, they risk being found out for murder. When checking their viewer ratings, they notice a small channel entering the ranks. Being a little curious as to know if it is anything worth chasing, they switch channels to find...
This is Max Headroom on Big Time Television, and what I want to know is, don't Eskimos ever get bored with their weather forecast?
Everyone seems to like his sense of humor, except one.
What I want to know is, if caviar is a rich man...
Afraid he's a bit tied up at the moment. Mr. Grossman learns that Edison is up and about, and learns the only people who know his and Max's whereabouts are Bruegel and Mahler. So they have to ride coach for a while. However, it seems like Edison struck a deal with them earlier, so they drive right past the big-time bus and park somewhere else. They get Grossman and Bryce out of the van first, ask the bodyguards to close the doors, back into the bodyguards, killing them.
Hey!
and leave Grossman in the spotlight.
Mr. Grossman,
Head of Network 23.
you're going to tell me exactly what I want to know about Blipfords, the whole story.
And so the movie ends with Max Headroom and the big-time boss driving off to meet their new buyer, which I presume is Channel 4.
In 1987, the Americans felt that this had potential and decided to create the Max Headroom TV series.
The first episode is pretty much the same as the movie, though with a few differences. Mr. Grossman, now named Mr. Grossberg, is a little more patient and actually likes what he sees.
I beg your pardon.
But once Max Headroom is introduced to the executive board and reveals that he also knows about the Blipfords,
Love those Blipfords.
That's enough.
Mr. Grossberg is no longer pleased. Though Max was never removed from Network 23. Also, Edison does not walk out of the body banks, but is bailed out by Theodore Jones. When Edison goes back to confront Bryce, Bryce actually gives Edison the proof he needs. And Grossberg is publicly humiliated at a press conference where he was about to announce Edison's death.
This is Edison Carter coming to you very much live and direct on Network 23.
This show ran for 14 episodes containing various stories and messages about the past, present, and possible future. Things like how far greed can corrupt people, what if a security system was run by a single computer which decided to have a glitch and turn you into a criminal, and any other scams or dictations you can think of.
The show was cancelled due to lack of use. In a sense, one could say that the Network 23 finally lost their viewers and went bankrupt. So, what's my opinion on all this? I found the music show to be fun, the movie was kinda slow but good, and the American show to be great. Now, there is another reason why I take this up today. Though the caption is 20 minutes into the future, it has taken us about 20 years to create a fully computer-generated news anchor that reads news from different websites, and about 25 years for Samsung to come out with a TV that watches you. Yes, it has happened. Right here, right now, this year. A television that recognizes you and whoever else that's in the room, gauges your reactions to certain programs, could also censor content depending on who's in the room with you, has the ability to connect to your social networks and share your experiences and reactions to certain movies, possibly allowing others to watch the same thing with you without actually being with you. Also, this information will be shared with the CIA because, well, in this paranoid day and age, not everyone's under observation. This information is sent to Samsung headquarters so they get accurate information about their product, how they can better improve it and all that. It's shared with television stations so they know what programs you like and what you don't like and when to show it and all that. And also get accurate view information. I mean, are you watching the television or are you actually talking to your friends while the television is just there for company? It's shared with companies that advertise a product on TV so that they know what products you like, what commercials you are interested in, and also if how better to improve their products and maybe also make it a little more personal when it comes to the commercial, like, hey, you look a little tired, try this new product. And the eventual hacker will also get this information. Well, nothing's 100% secure. I mean, each time you add another layer of security, someone will eventually find a way around it. It's just like evolution, hard shell, bigger teeth. And you are probably asking how much of this is true. Well, seeing as Samsung isn't releasing their privacy policy, all of this is just speculation. Those concerned about privacy, the simple answer that comes back is, if you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about. And yet, people you see walking about outside are constantly hiding something, and this is only because of a law that states that you are not allowed to walk around naked in public, because we horny men would then be very tempted to do stuff to someone. And there are crazy people that don't want to be watched or listened to while they're having sex, but in order to get into the mood they watch other people having sex on porno tapes. I mean, who knows what kind of perverts may be working at these places and listening to your wonderful groans and moans. As well as you'll have to be careful as to what you say or do in front of your TV, like holding up a blank disc, mentioning piracy, downloads, or torrents.